2020 is finally coming to an end. Thank God. I want to look at personal goals that I set myself in 2020 when we were young and naive and thought that it was going to be a normal year, and then reflect on my goals that I want to set for myself in 2021. I'm going to do this by looking at the goals that I wrote down in a nice booklet I had last year, and then also showing you my mood board and how I'm going to move forward with everything that I've learnt and what's in store for me in 2021. So yeah, let's get into just how unsuccessful I was in 2020. I worked out some areas that I wanted to work on for myself, and I split them into 6 different categories. So I looked at mental well-being, creativity, work, relationships, self-care and finances. Some of them are now in hindsight, like mental well-being and self-care surely would be the same. And I want to see if I've actually improved on any of these things. Okay, so the first thing was in mental well-being, a sense of calmness when I'm not being productive. I have not achieved that. I am like all the time, like I need to be productive, I need to be doing something, I need to be making something, I need to be doing this, consistently berating myself for not being productive enough. So I think I need to take that into 2021. To improve self-esteem and confidence in myself, to own this body and to love myself. Do you know what? I actually think I've got much better with that. I do tend to have, like, I don't know, lots of insecurities that potentially other people can't see. I'm a proper anxious person about how I look, and my self-confidence is not very good. Even though I come across like chatty and in your face, and I'll kind of put on that bravado, but inside I'm literally like so shy. But actually this year I do think I've really improved with my self-esteem and my confidence. Even just so far as the fact as doing booktube and putting videos of myself out there, chatting and being my normal self. So big tick for Memo. Investment of time and money into therapy sessions to dismantle my anxieties and understand what triggers toxic behaviours. See, I said it was going to be deep. And letting go of childhood trauma and all of these things. I did actually invest time and money into therapy sessions this year, and I would suggest therapy to everyone. I don't think you need to be someone that is struggling or on the edge of a mental breakdown to think you need to go to therapy. There are so many issues that people need to work through. Trust me, you've all got issues, yeah? All of you, especially the ones that are sitting there thinking, I'm fine. You definitely have issues. Therapy is so normalised in like America, and I find it weird in this country when I'm like, oh, my therapist. Like I think I sound like a bit of a dick, but actually I'm trying to like get over that stigma and just realise that actually therapy is for everyone. It was a whole new experience. It was really overwhelming at times. It can be like an emotional upheaval. Obviously it's personal, triggering sometimes, but ultimately it's cathartic. Ultimately you're able to release and let go. Loads of other things, so 100% would suggest it. So yeah, I actually did do that. Pretty proud of myself. Make a serious attempt at mindfulness and meditation. I didn't do that. I think I might have meditated maybe 5 times, 6 times this year. It's not a lot, is it? It's not even once a month. I think I need to find a meditation that works for me. I think with meditation it's always like, do I have time? I really want to be like into it, but thus far I haven't managed to really get into it, but I will, and I'm going to continue to work through that. Creativity. What did I want to do for creativity? I wanted to create a short anthology of written poems. I changed my idea. Sometimes this happens, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you make these affirmations, you make these goals, but actually things happen throughout the year and it changes your whole perspective and you end up doing something completely different. I did start to put together an anthology, not just of poems, but of also short pieces of prose. And it's something I want to continue to work on. It's a process that I really don't want to rush. Hopefully that will be something that I kind of started to achieve. So I'm not going to say that as a complete fail, so I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. Dedicate time once a week at least to writing in solitude. That's quite a good one. I don't think I did do that, no. I'm quite upset with myself for that. I think I should have done. But I did have a lot of time to do writing. I mean, we were in lockdown. I think the only thing for me is that I moved in with my boyfriend and his family. I find it really hard to write when anyone else is around, when anyone else's energy is in the room, when I can feel people just in the house. I need to be like alone in silence to be able to write. So I occasionally took my book to like the park. Obviously that was quite difficult during lockdown, you know, so as much as it gave me lots of free time, it also meant that the things I wanted to do with that free time were a little bit more limited because of the circumstance. But I did do a lot of writing. I wanted to reach 1,500 followers on Instagram. Let's see if I managed to do that. I don't think I did. I don't even know where my phone is. No, I didn't. I didn't manage to achieve that. No, I've got more than I had at the start of the year. Got to be grateful. So I'm still trying to find my tribe, I guess, and still trying to convince people that I'm worth the effort to follow. What else? Oh, be a feature artist and open mic night with a longer slot. I did achieve this one. So in my creativity, I'm not doing too bad. I did achieve that one. I've managed to be a feature artist at Say It Back, which is run by two beautiful ladies who are extremely talented in their own rights. I was feature artist at that night and it was just absolutely insane and I loved it. I actually messed up. It was like my first performance I ever fully forgot my words, messed up, didn't do very well, which is ironic. But it was still special because it was one of my first performances that I've been invited to be a feature artist, so I was so grateful for that, and it's a tick off my list of things that I did manage to achieve. To attend at least one spoken word night a month. Then lockdown happened, so that was never going to happen, but I did attend quite a few before, and then in the space between I went to a few as well. Considering what I was able to do, I actually did do quite well in that. I also did a few lives with Poetic Unity. If you don't know who they are, check them out, they're lit. I did with the Poetry Jam, Mind Over Matter as well. The next category is work. I'm a secondary school teacher, so I won't bore you too long with this one, but it's really actually sad for me to read this because a lot of my things I wanted to achieve were for the kids and surrounding shows and competitions and events that I planned to hold for them, like extracurricular wise, that just wasn't able to happen. It's actually really sad looking at this because so many of them I wasn't able to because we just weren't at school. Relationships. Yeah, I think these ones, again, quite personal, but you know, I think some of them I have really been able to do. So I want to be able to trust more within my relationships, not just romantic relationships, but friendships. So it takes me a long time to get to know someone because I just can't trust people as much as I want to. I think I've worked on that and I think I've got better with that. Find a healthy balance with family members where my needs are not sacrificed for them. Deep. I did say, guys, that this was going to be deep. Sorry if you weren't prepared for this. I think I've done that. I think I've stepped away from places that I need to be. Then we've got things about my partnership, my relationship. I've definitely ticked some of these things off to feel more secure in myself, to continue to build on our friendship and to start to plan a future together. So those things, relationships wise, I've actually been really successful. Self-care, regular skin routine. Now, my skin does not look great right about now. There's just a lot going on with bad skin. But I have actually really tried to dedicate towards this. I started off the year using, what was it called? Elemis? I started off using Elemis, whatever the hell it's called. I started using now, which is really expensive. And it was doing well, it was making my skin look like healthy. But then I went a little bit mad and bought different things. I've got this brand called Upcircle, which I loved because it was all like upcycled products. And then I think I just put too much on my skin and then I made my skin sensitive. Like I put too much fragrance and chemicals and everything like this. I tried that Ordinary stuff, which is really strong. I then went strict back to basics, was using CeraVe, which is like basic acne treatment, which cleared my skin up. And then I'm slowly starting to develop more of a sensitive skin routine. But I actually have to say, I'm going to tick this. So I've been really good with making sure that I do stick to it. Gym. No. Regularly invest in new books. Yes, I've done that. 15 minutes reading a day at least. Yes, I've done that. Find a resolution in Graves' disease. No, I haven't. I have Graves' disease. I've had it for over 6 years now. The doctors have not been able to find a way to regulate my medication. So it's a bit rubbish, really. I'm still no further on than where I was, but my test results come back and saying that my levels have lowered because at the moment I'm overactive and they have lowered steadily. But it's an ongoing battle and it's depressing, and I think thyroid conditions are like, or disabilities, conditions that people like they're unseen most of the time, so people just kind of think that they don't affect you, but actually they do affect you day to day, and it's still something that I am working on. So that one, unfortunately, I can't tick off. The last thing was finances. At the time of writing this, I was saving to go to Jamaica. Didn't actually end up going to Jamaica. All the money that I was going to use on Jamaica, I actually ended up spending on going to Greece and also going to Croatia this year in the summer, when for some reason everyone thought coronavirus was over. So I actually did manage to do that. So savings, yes. And invest money in things that will benefit me and not feel guilty about doing so. Have I done that? Yeah, I have, because I bought myself a new laptop. Like, I bought myself a Mac. First I felt guilty about it, but I didn't towards the end, because actually it's something that's really been useful to me. So yeah, I think I've done that. I actually think I did quite well in achieving like the majority of them. Some stuff that still needs work. I went to a really cool event called Guided Souls, and it's run by a friend that I've met through poetry. She's such a beautiful soul. She's just so lovely and so welcoming, and she runs these creative spaces that are focusing around mindfulness and reflection and lots of different avenues. But the one that I went to was about vision boards and positive affirmations for our future. So I started it at that event, and then I had a little session, my sister and another friend, where we finished our mood boards together. So this is my vision board about fear. I really am fire and fury. It's this idea about being more positive within myself and like a stronger feeling of it this time. And this is to do, for me, is to do about me doing more work with my videoing and my YouTube channels. And it's about like the power of creation, talking, inspiring, daydreaming, and not being afraid to just do me. Yeah, I'm not actually the most creative of people, so it's not really that neat, but I like it. And you can see I've kind of got a house there, and like this is like my dream little reading chair. In 2021, I want to really look into where my future is going to be with where I'm living. I either want to buy a house, or I would like to rent a place just by myself. I'm just too old for flat sharing. If I have to, then I will. You know, the joys of being in your 20s and living in London. I really just want my own space. I'm like a massive antisocial auntie. Like, I really enjoy waking up by myself, spending the whole day by myself. So for me, I think my focus really is about this idea of silent hustle, the idea of like moving and finding a space for me. So hopefully at some point this year, I'll be able to show you that. And in order to do that, I also need all of the monies. I need money and I need to earn. Being a little bit more mindful with my spending choices this year. And at the centre of it is a heart. With some stuff around it that I really like, and just keeping love at the centre of things, keeping love as a focus. Sometimes you can be so hardened by the world, and I find that sometimes I've got harsh facing all the time and I'm ready for bad things to happen, but sometimes when you go into things with more love, you end up getting more out of them. This year has really showed us to have a lot more patience with each other. And as you can see, I also have the mic on here because I really want to say more stuff. I really want to be doing more of my poetry. I've got so many fire things that I've written, but I just haven't put out there yet. I will be doing that. And I just find it's nice to look at as like a quick visual reminder of where I'm going to be. So I really want to get a frame for this and put this up somewhere. I forgot to show you the best part. Can you see who is in that top corner? Shirley from EastEnders, because we all need to be a little bit more Shirley. I know I just said be nice and loving and kind, but also just like Shirley, because I think she's a bad bitch and she's underrated, you know what I mean? And she always gets a hard time. Wanted to put her on there because I thought it was jokes. So if you're someone, I see people who are like really cute with their journaling and affirmations, who are like really into stationery and stuff like that. I'm not actually the most like neatest person or creative person when it comes to things like this. I would love to see some people who are actually really good at doing vision boards and mood boards and journaling. But overall, I want to read more books next year than I did this year. May be difficult because hopefully we don't have another lockdown and all that time to do reading, but I really want to challenge myself to read more. I'm not like some of these amazing people that read like 200 books in a year. I literally don't know how people do it. And I see some people and it makes me feel really bad because they're like, yep, just finished my 5th book of the month, and it's like 10 days in and I'm like, what? But this year I have actually read a lot more in 2020 than I've ever read in any other year. So I think I can keep leveling up, just like level up on my book reading. So I want to, by next year, have read, oh, let's put a number on it. No, I think I read about 35 books this year, which I know to some people doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot to me. 35 books, and that's not including like some that I got halfway through and then put down, or like short novellas. That's not including those, but like 35 solid, big, over 200, 300 page books. I'm gonna give myself a short little increase. It's not a lot, but I want to say that in 2021, I want to read 40 books. There, I've said it, I can't take it back now. It's out there in the ether. If I fail, you guys can hold me accountable, but I want to try and read 40 books next year. If there are any publishers watching, or any authors, and you want to be one of those 40 books and get a personalised review, then, you know, hit me up, slide in the DMs, drop me a comment. That's it really. Make sure that you like and subscribe down below and comment so that you can keep seeing me ramble on about random shiz. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.
You